Haven, the city of light, still pulsed with energy in the glow of dusk. People bustled along the streets, neon billboards flickered, music spilled from bars on the corners. But in an instant, the rhythm of life was torn apart. The first signboard went dark, then the second. Within seconds, the entire block was swallowed in shadow. Car horns blared as engines died, crowds broke into panic, and every frightened gaze lifted toward the sky. And they saw it. A massive sphere of energy, green and violet, hung suspended in the heavens. It swelled with each pulse, sending waves rippling through the air, as though the entire world shuddered in fear. Children screamed, adults clutched one another, and the familiar city suddenly felt alien. On the rooftop of a high-rise, Kai stood in silence, a lone figure beneath a shattered sunset. In his hand, the battered Sentinel insignia, once a symbol of a celebrated guardian, now a relic of failure. His eyes reflected the eerie glow of the sphere above, and inside him, a confession whispered. The city trembles once more. I swore, never to guard again. His palm opened, faint green sparks leaking out, trembling as if ready to ignite. Quickly, Kai clenched his fist, snuffing them out. Just then, the old device on his belt buzzed. The screen flickered alive, displaying a trembling line of text. Kai, if you can still hear it, come to the West Data Core. I need you, Maya. Haven's streets erupted in chaos. People shoved, screamed in despair, footsteps and car horns merging into a symphony of terror. The ground shook in waves, bricks tumbling from old buildings like rain. Then the sky cracked open. At the very heart of the energy sphere, a violet rift spread wide, as though an unseen hand was tearing space apart. Flickering light spilled out, painting the city center purple. From within the rift, the shard emerged. Tall, gaunt, his long cloak sweeping the ground, dozens of razor-sharp crystal shards orbiting him, glowing with cold light. Each step distorted space, bending the earth beneath his feet. His voice rang out, echoing like grinding steel. Haven. The perfect hinge to open the door. Your lifeblood will feed me. Citizens collapsed as a wave of pressure blasted outward from him. Glass roofs shattered, power poles toppled with thunderous cracks. In that desperate moment, a blast of dust thundered. Kai landed in the street with a radiant energy shield. The impact shook the pavement, dust billowing, revealing a forgotten warrior. Fearful eyes flickered with hope. Kai stood tall, his voice hoarse but defiant. No one touches Haven again. Shard smirked, his tone icy. A broken man dares to guard once more. Pitiful. The air quaked. With a mere gesture, he bent the forces around him, hurling Kai through a bus stalled mid-street. Glass exploded, steel shrieked as it tore. The avenue convulsed, smoke and dust rising in waves. Kai lay crushed, breath ragged, pain searing through him. In his blurred vision, memories surged back. The explosion 5 years ago. Comrades falling in flames. His sister reaching out through thick smoke, her hand slipping from his grasp, vanishing into darkness. Haven trembled again, and the past tightened its grip around Kai's heart. Dust still clouded the street. Kai pressed his hand against the cracked pavement, lungs straining. His heartbeat thundered in his ears, mingling with Shard's mocking voice echoing across the void. You failed once, and the fracture within you runs deeper than the sky itself. Each word struck like a blade, reopening old wounds. Kai squeezed his eyes shut, his body trembling. He wanted to surrender, to let the city fall, as though that was the punishment for a man who had failed. But then, a hand seized his shoulder. Maya's face smeared with soot, exhausted, yet eyes burning bright. She hauled him up, her voice cutting through the roar of energy. Kai, no one blames you for that day. If you don't rise now, every sacrifice will mean nothing. He shook his head, voice choked. I chose to walk away. I'm no longer Sentinel. Maya refused to let go. She pressed the old insignia into his palm, gripping his hand with hers as if to pour her strength into him. The Guardian isn't a cloak you wear, it's a choice, when you make again every day. Kai's eyes trembled. The insignia flickered faintly, green light pulsing like a heartbeat, rediscovering its rhythm. In that moment, he heard other sounds, the screams of citizens, the cries of children, the city's desperate plea. And deeper still, his sister's voice whispering, Don't give up, brother. He inhaled sharply, squaring his shoulders. Power rose within him, no longer a frail spark, but a smoldering fire, ready to ignite. Above, the energy sphere consumed nearly all of Haven's light. Only minutes remained before collapse. Kai clenched the insignia, eyes blazing with newfound resolve. For the first time in years, he whispered not with regret, but with conviction. "All right, I will guard. One more time." Wind howled across the central square. High above, the sphere had devoured nearly all of Haven's sky, violet fractures glowing like fire. Citizens ran in panic, gazes fixed on the unraveling heavens. Then, a green flare cut through the haze, tearing the dust apart. Kai emerged. No longer clad in a worn coat, but armored in bioorganic plating forged from Haven's energy. Luminous veins coursed across his arms and chest like lifelines. Each step reverberated with a resonant thrum. The Sentinel had returned. Facing him, Shard stood before the massive rift, cloak whipping, crystals orbiting like blades. He laughed, voice echoing. "A man who once fell dares to rise again? Your light will be extinguished." Kai lifted his gaze, voice ringing louder than the storm. "You're right. The fracture within me runs deep, but fractures are where the light breaks through." They clashed. Green and violet collided, twisting into a blazing column that lit the night. The impact thundered like storms erupting at street level. Kai strained, shield blazing, but Shard's power pressed harder, driving him back. The ground split apart, windows shattered, the square quaked. Kai gritted his teeth, strength ebbing. Breath faltered, knees buckling. Shard roared, surging more energy, violet currents crushing down. In that razor's edge moment, Maya's voice crackled through the calm, piercing the chaos. "Kai, sync your heartbeat with Haven's core. Believe in yourself and the city will believe with you." Kai shut his eyes, inhaled deep. He listened, heard his own heartbeat, and strangely, the heartbeat of Haven itself. Towers flickered back to life, street lamps flared bright, as though the city was lending him its strength. The green torrent in his grip flared brighter, driving back the shadows inch by inch, and the battle was turning. But the final blow was still to come. The sky above Haven split into jagged violet fissures, threatening to consume the city whole. Shard howled, channeling everything to annihilate the man before him. But Kai, now truly Sentinel, was no longer the broken figure of years past. His pulse resonated with Haven's. With each beat, a tower lit up, a light switched on. The city itself was breathing through him. Kai roared, green light erupting, engulfing his form. He raised his shield, energy surging into a spiraling column of emerald fire. Maya's voice broke through, urgent. "Kai." The final strike now. Sentinel surge. The spiral of light lanced skyward, piercing the energy sphere. A deafening explosion boomed, shockwaves sweeping across Haven. But instead of destruction, darkness was cleansed, the sky restored to clarity. Shard screamed, clawing open a portal to escape. But Kai lunged, slamming his shield into the rift, pinning it shut. The force dragged Shard backward, his body twisting amid shards of violet crystal. In his final moment, he hissed, "This hinge will open again. You've only delayed it, Sentinel." Then he vanished, swallowed as the rift collapsed. Silence. A breeze swept the square. Haven's lights flickered back to life, one bulb, then a street, then an entire skyline blazing like fireworks. The crowd erupted in cheers, tears streaming in relief. Kai removed his helm, walking slowly toward Maya. She smiled, eyes warm. "Welcome home, Sentinel." He nodded, voice steady and firm. "We've only locked one door, final shot." In a distant dark chamber, a shadowed figure studied a world map. Dozens of glowing points, other hinges blinked to life. A chilling voice echoed, "The game has only just begun." Black screen. The logo appears. The Last Sentinel.